What is up, my friendly cat mojo tears? It is your friendly cat daddy, Jackson Galaxy, here with you today. And you know me, I'm here to answer questions. And I do it all the time. You know what the funny thing is? I was walking around in the supermarket with a mask on the other day, and somebody came up to me and asked me a question about their cat. I take that as the ultimate compliment, although I was kind of weirded out. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. Today, I'm answering a question from Alexis, who did not find me in the supermarket, but rather found me right here, where you can find me as well. So, Alexis has a question that at first blush, I was like, well, that's unusual. But then I thought to myself, it probably isn't. If Alexis is asking this, and there is tens and hundreds of millions of cats in the world, then somebody else must be thinking about it as well and going, how do I get my cat to stop doing this? I should write to Jackson. Well, Alexis did it for you. Let's hear from Alexis and her cat, Phineas.
Hey Jackson, my name's Alexis, and this is my cat, Phineas. Oh, hello.
Whoa, Phineas said, hey Jackson, how you doing?
I bought a couple of kickers for him to play and scratch and knead with, and he doesn't use any of the kicker. I haven't put catnip on it, but you know what he does use? My shoes. He uses my jandals, my sneakers.
Wait, what's a jandal? Let me look. The combination of thongs or flip-flops worn in conjunction with socks. I'm sure that that's not exactly what the fashion statement is, but now I know what a jandal is. Proceed.
So my sneaker tends to be his favorite shoe to knead. You can see the little bite marks on it and stuff. And this is his other favorite shoe. There's some little holes. I don't know if he did those or if I did those.
Okay, wait. Stop right there. If you don't know whether Phineas put tooth marks in the jandal or Alexis put teeth marks in the jandal, we have a whole other problem here that we have not addressed. So,
Pretty much any fabric-y shoe, if I leave it out, I can catch him at 3 in the morning clawing at it. How can I get him to use the kicker and the toys that I bought instead of my personal shoes? Thanks.
Thank you, Alexis. A lot of really cool examples in here of Phineas's peculiarities, shall we say. But honestly, they're not as peculiar as you might think. So I'm gonna just throw some cat spaghetti against the wall here and hope something sticks for you. Because, I can give you some general clues as to what's going on with Phineas or how to basically meet him in the middle. And I think that that's really what this is all about. How do we either get him to deal with something appropriate or trick him? And either way, it works, right, Alexis? So let's first take a look at what you have been using. So you've been using kickers, which I think is just a fantastic thing, because if we take a look at his actions right here, see what he's doing there? Kicking, exactly. He's kicking, and that action led you, Alexis, to say, I should get him something appropriate. So big round of cat applause to you for doing that detective work and trying to find an appropriate victim, which is what we're looking for, the appropriate victim here. And that would be the kicker. But then he's going for your shoe anyway. Now, here's what I want you to take a quick look at. Let's take a look at this. That, right there. Okay, so here's the thing that you guys are looking at right now. What is Phineas doing? He stops his kicking and now he's smelling the shoe. He's getting into the scent of the shoe, and then he starts kicking again and biting and doing everything else. So now this is of course no insult to you, Alexis, at all, because from a human perspective we could be like, okay, that's kind of gross. He's all into Alexis's feet. But we have to remember that cats are predominantly about their sense of smell. It's much more important to them than their sense of vision, even their sense of hearing. Because if you think about it, even though their sense of hearing is tremendous. It's amazing. But they also have whiskers all over their bodies that can help sort of buttress up that hearing sense. But their nose, nothing else can replace that. Not just avoiding being predated upon, but in terms of identifying their territory. So if you think about what I've talked about before, when we talk about Basecamp, and if you haven't seen the Basecamp video right there above my head, go check that out. Because in it I talk about the concept of scent soakers. Scent soakers are, well, clearly you can figure it out. It's where your cat sort of lays on, touches, rubs up against, and in doing so, they claim ownership. So in this case, Phineas is doing something that's actually fairly appropriate. Think about this, okay? When we talk about scent soakers and Basecamp, in terms of joint scent soakers, human animal scent soakers, the biggest places that we would see are things like your bed or your couch. Your scent is strong in those areas, and your cat will roll around in them, or face mark them, or do whatever, or just sit on a blanket on the bed just to say, hey, me and you, we're compadres. We are together. We are the two amigos, or amigas. See where I'm going with this? Where I'm going with this is now with Alexis's shoes, it is, again, where her scent is strong. And imagine, like for instance, with that Jandal, which unless she's being completely unfashionable and wearing socks, scent is even stronger. He is using that shoe as a toy, but also as a source of ownership. At least that's what I'm seeing. So, how do we get around this? Now, there's a couple of ways of doing it. Like I mentioned, we're going to do the whole throwing cat spaghetti against the wall here. But one of the first things that you can do, like I said, I love the fact that you're using a kicker. So why don't you try this? Now, this kicker right here, it's one of my designs here. It's called the Ultimate Bunny Kicker. And you see how you can fold this, right? You can fold it up like that, make sort of a J out of it. Stick it in the shoe. Let it scent soak. Put it in the shoe overnight, put the shoe in a closet, do whatever, and then pull it out and see if when you present it to him then, whether he uses it. Because in his case, your scent is actually probably better than catnip. Actually, one study showed that 50% of cats do not respond to catnip. Of course, that means 50 do. Some other studies say 70% of cats do. The point is that Phineas just may not, and that's fine. But we do know that he responds to your scent. So how about we try that? We put it in the shoe, we let him, go at it, take it out of the shoe. Okay, so that's one thing to start with. But the other thing is, when does he tend to be the most active? Because he's not kicking on your shoes or kicking on toys or whatever 24 hours a day. Because I assume your question would have been a whole lot different and more like, I'm going nuts, Jackson. So, assuming that that's not the case because you're awfully calm, then we have to pick the time of day where he's most likely to do it. Now, here's a hint, Alexis. Your feet are not in your shoes when he does it. So he's not doing it while you're gone. He's doing it, you come home, you take off your shoes, you look one way, you look the other, and now he's kicking the shoes. So that tells me that when you come home, his energy level goes, right? So if that's the case, what do? You come home, take off your shoes, relax for a second, break out an interactive toy, and have him go to town on that toy. Run him around a little bit, make him tired, and here's the capper. Now you feed him dinner. So now you've gone from controlling his energetic output through a toy. You're leading the action. At the end of that, lead the action some more into food. And there you go. Now you've taken that I must kick energy and drain it out. In the meantime, you are scent soaking your kicker someplace else so that at a certain point, maybe after that meal, now you present it to him. And now he can do that job. The job being to kick, to bite, to kill. That's what he's doing. He's killing it, right? But at the same time, complementing his scent with yours. So he's doing two jobs in one. He's owning territory and he's hunting. That equals cat mojo. Dum, dum, dum! Cat mojo. And ownership of territory and connection with that raw cat, which is hunting, that's a bingo for a cat. And this is a way for you to do it appropriately. Here's another form of cat spaghetti, and I don't usually recommend this kind of weird substitution thing, but let's just go for it. If you have a shoe that you are just not in love with anymore, that you were about to donate, somewhere, What about if you were to just leave that out? And you can even put this kicker inside it, and that becomes his sort of like, there's a kicker in it, I can take the kicker out, but there's also a shoe and I can have that. All you gotta do is get your scent in it, right? Wear the shoes. One day, just wear the shoes and then try to give him that one. At least it's better than saying, no, you're bad. Now, what's the downside of that? The downside is there's no way for you to say this is a good shoe and this is a bad shoe. It's not something that I would recommend as your primary tactic, but if all else fails, you know, try it before everything fails. Why not? But it feels like he likes to wrap around that rubbery feeling as well. And there are dog toys out there that are more based in rubber. You know, those are toys where a dog can just like, and it doesn't come apart. Look in the dog aisle for some toys that, again, you want to soak with scent. Again, putting it into a shoe. I know, people are going to think you're crazy. Your friends are going to come into the house and there's going to be a dog toy stuffed in a shoe, and they're going to be like, and you're going to be like, oh, Jackson said to try it. That takes me to my last point here, Alexis, and I saved the most obvious point for the last point. Put away your shoes. Aha! Aha! That's why they pay me the big bucks, Alexis. Put away your shoes. Don't set Phineas up for failure. If you're leaving the jandals and the sneakers around at all times, then you're just setting it up so that you get frustrated with Phineas. Put the shoes away. That way he's also more likely to use the kicker that you've soaked with scent as well. Don't set him up for failure, and then try to use the information that you had to guide him towards the most desirable and appropriate victim. That's it for this week. Like I said before, I want to answer your questions. No matter how weird you might think they are, they might not be. So just send them to this address, like I said before, and I'll see if I can answer them. Also, you guys, if you haven't noticed this fine piece of apparel that I'm wearing that says, Cats Are Life, you can pick that up at the Cat Camp store, which is catcamp.nyc, where we have all types of wonderful cat-centric clothes, whether they be shirts or hoodies, hats, stickers, pins, all kinds of fun stuff. So go check that out as well. Don't forget, you guys, especially if you're a first-time viewer, subscribe. Thank you very much. And when you do that, also hit that bell so that you get notifications. Share this with any friends that might have their shoes being chewed to ribbons. You never know. And I will see you guys next time. All light, all love, all mojo to you. Take care, everybody. Meow.